in the film. Surgeon. Welcome back, everybody. People of all races, colors, creed.
And genders and pronouns. I'll just go ahead and do this for you and everything and we'll just jump right into. Oh, you're back, the film surgeon.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for all joining us, Michael. We're so excited for you to be here. We got another film to dissect. Dune, coming to us from HBO Max.
That's right. So let's jump right into our film review. Dune. So much that I could say about this, but I'm going to keep it short because I've talked to so many people that have seen the original one and said that it was such a good movie and they were so happy to see this new one, and I've heard that they're going to do sequels on it.
Yeah.
However, looking at just this one, and I've never seen the original, so I don't know how good the original is. I'm judging just this movie from this movie, and it's a remake. It's not a spin-off, like a continuation from the original, if I'm understanding that correctly. Correct?
Correct.
So looking at it from that aspect, I'm going to say that this movie was not really that good. It's very, very long and drawn out. Many things that are happening. The special effects, not really something that stands out in terms of their powers or whatever they have. It's not really thoroughly explained how they get it, why it happens, etc., etc. Nobody's acting sold me. None of the music sold me. None of the cinematography sold me. The story was not really something that I understood. I got lost in it, could not understand, was definitely on my phone quite often, and I really tried. I was like, no, I'm going to okay, back to the phone. Like, I really could not understand anything inside this movie. I do like Batista, but even he wasn't in there long enough. His character was not something that stood out. The mom and the son, they weren't well-known people. What is that, Zendaya?
Zendaya, yes.
Zendaya, sorry.
Zendaya.
Nothing with her. Nothing. It's all in all.
You wasn't there until the end of the movie.
All in all, and even at the end, it was like, "Oh, we're done." No, we're really they're trying to kick it up to a real big notch, and I still don't know what's going on, and it's dumb. We could have ended it, and what's the story about, and where are we going with this? But all in all, I'm gonna give it a D minus.
Wow.
D. I'll give it a D. It wasn't.
Give it the grade you want to give it. If you want to give it an F, give it an F.
No, D minus is like that's like borderline. But I could have said F. I could. That's the final grade. There are no even pluses or minuses on
stand on your grade. If it's an F, it's an F.
F is Vanguard. I don't know, but this was a D minus.
Dune. Let's go ahead and start off with the biggest problem of this entire movie, which is the story. This movie was made like it was a sequel, and we were supposed to be knowing what was going on. Newsflash to everyone who wrote this movie, directed it, and everything else. Guess what? We don't know what you're talking about. We don't understand. Stop making this movie like we just have all this background information, because guess what? We don't. Stop assuming everybody has seen the original movie. We haven't. Stop assuming everyone has read the book. We haven't. Guess what? We don't. And then you make a movie like this where we're just supposed to be understanding what's happening. Wrong. We don't understand what is going on. The story is convoluted. It takes us 80,000 different places. I don't know what is happening.
5 origin movies just to explain all the other things about this movie.
We needed pre-movies before this movie. We don't know. I don't know what's going on. And what's crazy is people love this film. They do. They love this film. They can't wait for the sequel. It killed the reviews, by the way. Absolutely murdered reviews.
Meaning good or bad?
Good. Great reviews. This film had Great reviews.
Who's
Like
review?
it.
Oh, that would have been nice. Who's reviewing these movies? Giving these reviews.
82% on Rotten Tomatoes.
80.
A minus from Cinema Score. 4.5 out of from Post Track. 74 out of 100 from Metacritic. People love this movie
I
for
would have given it a
what
7 or a 4 out of 100, not a 74.
people love this film, and with the story being so convoluted, I don't understand why. Maybe it's because they're coming in with the background information of this, but guess what, people? I don't have the background. I don't know what's going on here. The acting wasn't super fantastic, no. And the way they market this movie kind of irritates me. They market it as if it's this dude and Zendaya in this movie, and all the trailers and everything they put out. Zendaya's in this movie for about 2.5 minutes. She's not even really in this movie. It's like she did a cameo.
And honestly, when she came in, I was like, where did she come from? And who is she? And what is her purpose in the story?
It's like she did a cameo in this movie, and they marketed it as if she was like a main character. No. It couldn't have taken her more than a day to film her scenes for this movie. Couldn't have. She was on set for a day and got out of there.
On the set, everybody, we're gonna film and cut. All right, Zendaya, thank you so much for your time.
She was there for literally no more than a day. So that irritates me how they marketed this movie, because that was not what happened. Batista wasn't in this super long. His character was okay. The villain in this movie,
trailer a lot.
The villain in this movie is kind of like scary, but he's not. Like I'm not intimidated by him at all in any forms. And the fact that he can float doesn't scare me either. Do they make you feel some intensity with the music and stuff like that sometimes? Yeah, I feel like they do kind of sparingly a good job of that. Cinematography, was there anything that blew my mind? No, I will give them credit. It's hard to make a giant sandworm, but they didn't even make the worm come out of the ground. It's literally just the worm's mouth.
That's more CGI, not cinematography for
that.
Oh,
sorry, CGI. Sorry, CGI. Wrong words. I apologize. CGI, and then I'll touch on cinematography. CGI. They did make. They just kind of the sandworm was, I guess, kind of cool. But again, you only see its mouth. It doesn't actually come out of the ground at all. And they did kind of explain that thing there, I guess. And kind of explain that whole thing, I guess. Cinematography, was there anything that stood out to me? No. Yeah, there was nothing special. And then I was like, oh my God, that's an amazing shot. The way they angled that camera there, or the way they did this there, the way they set this up, no, there was none of that. I mean, it was just kind of is what it is. They just put palm trees in the desert and it was like, yeah, let's have a good time. We'll shoot up close to this palm tree, call it a day. So yeah, it hurts me to go against the reviews, but that's what we do here. We got to be honest about this movie, and coming from it from a perspective of people, a majority of which I probably weren't even alive when the original movie came out, and probably have not read this book. This is a bad movie. It is a bad movie. I want my 2 hours back. Am I gonna watch the sequel? Probably. We'll probably review the sequel. But the background information, there's so much here that is missing, or that is bad. That I just have to be honest and give this an honest grade. D minus.
How are you shocked when I gave it a D minus?
Because it's not as bad as Vanguard.
Well, Vanguard, I don't remember if I gave it a D minus.
I remember the movies that we've given an F, and it's not Hubie Halloween. It's not those, but this was bad. Like, I feel like this could have been a better movie. They just swung and missed dramatically. So
I feel like
I don't know what everybody else is seeing and why they love this movie so much, but
I feel like the reason why they got the young, good-looking guy and girl to be inside this movie, to be an attraction to young audiences that are gonna pay to see Zendaya and whoever the guy was.
Pay the season there for 2 minutes.
But they put them in the trailer like they were in there for 2 hours. So
The day was in this movie just
and
as long as Chris Brown was in Stuff the Yard.
And let's put Batista in there because he's been inside of good movies, but this is definitely not one of them. I think that yes, like you said, if there was a sequel, I would go and see it. Not because this one was good, but because I would just want to see maybe they'll explain more, or maybe they'll have a different director or direction that would make this better. But not even that I would go see the sequel. I kind of want to see the original to see what all the hype was on the original, that everyone keeps saying the original was so good. I won't take the time to read, not appealing to me. So I don't know if I would enjoy it as much now as what I would back when it came out. But and I kind of compare that for like Total Recall or Blade Runner. You know, I've seen the originals versus the newer ones, and to me, I like the newer ones because I like the newer style of movies. And that's neither here nor there. I mean, we could talk about Blade Runner, which I thought was terrible for the original.
Take it back.
But that's neither here nor there. To compare it to this one, like I said, I mean, you can watch it, you can be a judge for yourself. If you're a fan of the series, fan of the books, fan of the original,
You're gonna love it.
Hypothetically, maybe you will enjoy it because, like what Manny said, you understand it better. But for a normal moviegoer watcher that's going to just put this on and say, hey, I want a good movie, I don't think for someone that doesn't know a lot about the movie, the characters, the history, whatever, the story, that you're going to enjoy this movie the same. So
no. I don't know how this movie killed reviews. I don't know how that happened, and maybe it's because they have some sort of background that we didn't have going into this, but I
think they're
I don't know how. I don't know.
Just like we are, but I think that they are not as good as what we are. Your Rotten Tomatoes and your cinema, whatever you said, some of those other places, they're not good critics. They're like we are, to give the audiences what would be good movies that you would enjoy and the reasons why. They throw a grade on there based on what they think is good or acceptable, and that's kind of the good thing.
Just the technical aspects of this movie are just not acting, cinematography. If you're using CGI, is the CGI good? Set design, music, all that other stuff. This does not have anything. So how this is an A, I don't know.
Here's the thing, and I, just to wrap it up, is I can understand that there could be a movie that someone absolutely loves. There was somebody that told me Top Gun is the best movie they've ever seen in their entire life. It's so good. And I went and saw it, meh. It wasn't bad, but to say it's the best movie ever? So there are movies out there that people are like, they are in love with, they love it so much, maybe because of the actor in it, or they just love those kinds of movies. I would hate to say that I'm downing this movie because it's not my style. But like you said, if I'm looking at just what makes for a good movie, this didn't have any of the components that were on top of its game to be inside of that good movie category.
No, and that's just from a technical aspect, it did not have any of those things. And regardless to how I feel about it, if it had some technical aspects and the story was still confusing, the grade would be better. It just, again, swing, miss.
Well, I think that even if one of those aspects, because like we said in one of our past episodes, how music drives a movie, even if the music was phenomenal, higher than a D-. Take out the music. Even if the storyline made sense, might even shoot that up, even though the music and the acting wasn't great. So many different things could have, but they just dropped the ball on too many things. So there it is. If you guys disagree with us, please let us know what you guys think inside of the movie, or inside of the comments what you guys think about the movie. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell, do all that jazz, and hit us up. Let us know And as always, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in for another exciting episode of Film Addict.
Yeah.